So we're going to be talking about the the obstacles and the difficulties that you may face as a wholesaler, and a few common challenges, right? So let's talk about the biggest obstacle that all wholesalers, I think everybody in business is finding business, right? So for wholesalers, that's finding deals, right? So one of the biggest challenges is finding properties that are sold below market value, guys. So you know, it's hard to find someone to say, yes, I would love to sell you my house for 40 cents on the dollar, right? So you have to create these picture perfect scenarios where you're pulling your list based on people who probably wouldn't mind selling a house, 40, 50 cents on a dollar, because there's a desired underlying need, whether they're in pre-foreclosure, whether they're having a tax sale coming due, whether they're having a financial emergency, whether they lost their spouse and the other spouse can no longer pay the bills. There's so many ways that people will want to sell or just get rid of a headache property, that it's your job to build a list that caters towards them type of people. So I think the number one biggest issue that most wholesalers will face is finding consistent deals. So this requires a big combination, right? You need to be able to know how to do research. So PropStream, guys, if you're not using PropStream, we will do another PropStream Masterclass series going into 2023, probably late January, early February. If you want to be a part of that series, the only way to know, unless you want our email list, go to CEO929.com right now, sign up for our free email list. We won't overspam you. We send out valuable information and obviously business opportunities to work with us. But other than that, go to that, get on our email list so that you can get these free trainings, because we're going to double down in 2023 with a lot of free trainings and information, right? So then you just want to network, right? I think this is the biggest mistake that I didn't do early on in my business career, was reach out to others and let them know what I got going on. Because where I'm from, we're so secretive and so private that telling people your business is literally setting you up to get robbed. So for me, I had to work on that over the years and say, hey, y'all, I'm looking to do deals here. Anybody want to network, go out to lunch, or blah, blah, blah. Like, that was the whole reason for me starting like a meetup, so I can have a pulse on what's going on, and I can do deals with people at the meetup. I can meet people. I found a good business partners, good lenders, everything. So go back. So building my meetup. I think we're going to do another meetup this year. We're launching a brand new brand called Strengthpreneur that we soft launched last year, but it's going to be full throttle this year, where you're inviting like-minded people into your circle. So I think that's what a lot of you guys got to start doing. Getting back out there. COVID kind of isolated us, but getting back out there. Go to meetup.com. And you'll be surprised how many other real estate investors are hanging on meetup.com and doing business on meetup.com. You can come across a lot of opportunities. Maybe you are not good at talking to sellers, but you're good at talking to buyers. So maybe you're the person that just go build a buyer's list in a particular area and then hang out at the meetups and say, yo, anybody got a deal they need help selling? I got plenty of buyers. Send them to me. I get your top dollar offer. So sometimes, your deal flow is going to depend on how good your strengths are and how you can take other people's weaknesses and make them your strengths. So I think that's the biggest thing, is finding deals. That's always going to be a hurdle. So make sure you have multiple zip codes or areas or counties that you're working, and make sure that you have at least 2 virtual assistants. Now, if you're on a budget, that's perfectly fine. If you can afford 1 full-time virtual assistant, you can afford 2 part-time virtual assistants. And what I mean by that is, if you're willing to pay a VA 40 hours a week, split that 40 hours a week in half and pay this VA 20 hours a week and that VA 20 hours a week. That way you can get more production. You got somebody calling and working, and if this VA decide to quit or something happened to the VA, you can literally don't have to start all over from zero, because you still have an employee in place. So that's one big thing I think that most challenges some wholesalers face. Another thing is just negotiating with sellers, right? So most people struggle with that because they don't know exactly what they should be offering the sellers. They just know that they should be offering the sellers no less than 70% ARV. But I'm here to tell you, there's a lot goes on to putting a deal together. You first have to be a good listener, right? What I mean by a good listener is you have to be able to have like a notepad like this and write down notes as a person speaking and be able to recite these notes and pain points back to the person so that you can acknowledge to the person that, you're listening and you're paying attention to them. So making sure that, once you identify a potential deal and, you know exactly what you want to offer, then put their pain points within that offer. Hey man, I know your credit isn't as good. You by yourself and no one can help you move. So based on my offer, it's gonna let you walk away with that $20,000 that you was looking for. Plus, I'm gonna have my moving guys come in and move you to a place within a 30, 40 mile range at most. And they'll box you up and pack you up, and all this is a part of my offer. So now you solve the part that they do want to walk away with some money, but the biggest elephant in the room is they don't have the resources and capabilities to move. Some of you guys got to start making relationships. I think a lot of people got to understand and recognize that when you're putting your offer together, make sure it's an irresistible offer that solves everybody's problem. And yeah, you're going to make money in the process, but if you're not solving that person's problem, best to believe your prospect or your seller is talking to multiple other real estate investors. You're not the only person that they're talking to. So you got to consider that, hey, I'm not the only person you may be talking to. And sometimes it's okay to address that. Hey, listen, Mr. Seller, I just want to let you know that I know there's a possibility that I'm not the only person you're actually talking to in regards to selling your house. And if that's the case, I will at least like to get you the highest and best offer possible that makes sense to you. So if you can hear me out for the next 2 or 3 minutes, that'll be greatly appreciated. So just acknowledging that to people would take you a whole lot further, because you are showing that, hey, you understand that there's competition and you're okay with it being competition, and you're going to do your best to compete with the competition for it to make sense for both you and the seller. And when you explain that to them, they'll respect you a whole lot more. I'm telling you some good stuff. I think another hurdle, once again, is actually finding legitimate buyers. I mean, there are buyers on Facebook, but most of the people I know that's buying deals consistently, that's crushing it, they don't really have time to sit around on Facebook. Most actually buyers don't even have Facebook pages. They're not really social media driven. Like literally, they just do deals. They get plenty of deals from realtors. They get plenty of deals from title companies. They get plenty of deals from referrals, lawyers, probate attorneys, property managers that they get so many different deals that they don't have a need to create a marketing machine. Their reputation is their marketing machine because they could perform and close. So everybody loves to be in proximity to them because they know if they have a good quality deal, it's going to get across the finish line. Unlike your Facebook guys, there's a bunch of people on Facebook, yeah, I buy it. Then we send them a deal. They find every excuse in the world to rationalize and justify that this isn't a deal. And it's because they don't have the resources that they portray on Facebook. So here's a tip. The best way to find buyers is to actively look for flippers in that particular area. Now, if you can't find flippers, then you can still find buyers. Like I got this lead up on the outskirts of Pittsburgh that came in yesterday, and I'm looking at it like, yo, there's not really many buyers here, cash buyers, people who haven't bought here since 2020, maybe because it's a small town, ain't that many houses. And then I don't see no flippers in sight, so this is not a flipping town. The person inherited the house, he just want $40K. $40K is like a little too much, but what do I do? So just go on the phone and talk my shit and figure it out from there. Sometimes if you overthink something before you talk to the prospect, that's going to hold you back. So it's nothing like just looking at the lead once you get it, and then call them, have a genuine conversation. Hey, this is Antoine. I got your information yesterday. You filled out one of my Facebook forms. I'm just calling to get a little more information about the property. And maybe you can work something up. But, I don't know what to come of that particularly. I call them after this live. I don't know, honestly. Continue to build your buyers list. Just as much energy you put into cold calling, guys, you should be building your buyers list. And when I mean building buyers list, I don't mean just copy and pasting people that say cash buyers on Facebook. I mean finding the cash buyers, seeing that they had active real estate that they bought less than 12 months ago, and then they re-put it back on MLS. Either they sold it or it's currently sitting to be sold. and you can call them and say, hey, I see that you fixed up and trying to sell 123 Main Street. Are you open to buying any more properties in the next 60 days to replace that property when it's sell? If they're gonna say yes, say great. Well, can I ask you a few questions just so that I can put you in the right bucket and don't waste your time when I get my deals to send to you? Are you buying with cash? Are you buying with hard money? How quickly can you close? What's your square footage? What preferred side of town you in? What's your best zip code you want to buy in? Things like that. So when you get a deal and you have these filters in place, oh man, Mr. Chuck, I talked to 2 weeks ago. He definitely would like something like this. Let me personally call him. Hey, Mr. Chuck, it's Antoine Campbell personally calling you because I found something that fits your criteria. I know you say you're looking for deals over in 33345 zip code. With this amount of bedrooms and bath, I got something for you. Now it looks to me it need a little work, but from what I've seen, all the houses you flipped so far, I think there's something that you can't handle. We're looking for $450,000. I'm calling you now before we even send it out to our main list. If you can get you on your contract over there between today and tomorrow and give me a highest and best offer, I definitely, entertain an offer before we send it out to our list. So you want to make your buyers feel special and make them feel like they're always in the front of the line. Now, if you tell Mr. Frank or whoever, hey, I'm going to let you get this house, and you make a verbal agreement, hold yourself to the agreement, even if you get more offers. Because what's going to happen is Mr. Frank ain't going to fuck with you no more. Like, oh, you just about the money. See, most of these cash buyers want to build a relationship. Now, it's a kind of a fork in the road with that because you don't want to feel like you're working for them and that you answer to them, but you want them to know that you respect them enough to give them enough time to make an educated decision to move forward. So a real buyer should be able to look at a house within a 24-hour notice, make his decisions, call up whoever lenders and hard money people deal with to get the ball rolling, and have EMD and escrow signed by the next day. If it's taking a buyer, if it's Monday and it's Thursday right now, and they still haven't gotten back to you, you might not want to be fooling with that person. You want somebody sufficient and lean when it comes to, doing business, because this business is about speed of execution. And the quicker you can speed and execute on things, the more quicker you're going to get paid.